here again is Donald Trump.
This season, the boardroom had it all. Tears, fights, everything. But this boardroom will be one for the history books. It's going to be amazing. Enjoy it. First of all, I have to say that everybody in this room is a winner. And you were chosen for that reason. You all did really well. You performed really well. Dennis, I'm proud of you. You wanted to come back. You came back. And I heard you were very solid. Is that true, Annie?
Absolutely.
So I'm proud of you, Dennis. You redeemed yourself. But you've been doing that all your life, right?
Absolutely.
I'm very proud of you. Joan, how was your team?
My team was interesting. We got it done.
Melissa, were you proud of your mother?
Very proud of my mother.
You have really proven to be a good daughter. I didn't like, when you got fired, you really went nuts. And I think it was a bad moment for a few minutes. You used the word whore and bitch and all these, and you were referring to Annie, you were referring to Brandy. Why did you take such a tough stand?
Because I believe in...
You don't believe they're whores?
No.
You might believe they're bitches. That's not so bad. We've heard worse.
One of my soft spots and I played this game with complete and total integrity and honor, and to be faced with lies and deceit.
And you know what? You did very well.
Yeah, but that was why I got so angry.
And you lasted a long time, right? What do you think about that, Brandy? Beautiful Brandy.
Sure.
Okay. Joan, you had a Kodak branding experience. Do you think you did well?
I think we were everything that company represents. I think it was family.
Whose idea was it to use the faux celebrities? Because some of them gave me the creeps.
Oh.
Not all of them.
Well, it was a last minute thing. That was...
You know who, the one that played you? You're much better, Joan.
Yes, but he makes a great living.
That was not... Really? Is that right?
Yes.
You are much better. Okay. Annie, do you think you raised a lot of money?
Yes. I definitely raised
a lot of
money.
And who were your big contributors? Gamblers?
My brother gave...
Are these degenerate gamblers or just gamblers?
No, these people, and they don't gamble actually. Poker's a skill game, so you can think about them as investors.
But poker's also a gamble, right?
Less than the stock market is.
Okay, well that's a total gamble.
Yeah, well
today that's probably very good.
Today that's a total gamble.
Well, one thing, these people swing a little bit too.
Well, I think that they're very real and they are who they are, and they're used to just being like, it's money and what am I supposed to use it for but to do this, and that's fine.
Dennis, how was Annie as a leader?
That was a good opportunity for her to shine, man.
Did she shine or not?
Well, she came through in flying colors. I mean, what was going on with all the bickering and all the decorating and stuff like that?
Were you surprised that she wanted you on her team?
No, you said it earlier. I knew that was going to happen because she's a gambler. That's her business.
I think that I read Dennis really well, and I think that whatever happened before on the show, the fact that he had come back meant that he had come back to work.
And you were very happy with Dennis?
So incredibly happy.
And Dennis, you thought she was a good leader?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, you know what, Dennis? I think the public is going to have a much different opinion of you now. And I think you've done yourself a lot of good. Yeah, and by coming back in particular, you've done yourself good.
Well, thanks to you guys and these guys right here to give me support, as far as like, hey, Dennis, you know what? Come on back in, brother. We all good, baby. Let's keep it up.
You stepped up, and I'm proud of you, Dennis. Hey, Tom, what do you think of Annie as a leader?
I thought she was a good leader and definitely, knew what she wanted to do.
What do you think of the job she did in terms of decorating and also in terms of fundraising?
Well, it was amazing watching her do the fundraising. I got to say that was pretty impressive.
Fundraising is incredible, but it is only 1/5 of the criteria for a win. Do you think you won? Do you think your team won?
Do I think our team won?
Based on celebrity, based on the quality of guest satisfaction, based on decoration, based on all the other criteria.
I think we could have won. I think I was definitely really impressed with the amount of money that Annie brought in, and Dennis brought in a lot of money too. And
you're glad you came back?
Absolutely.
And you went out a little early, and it was a tough one because it was a very close one. And it's very nice that you came back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Annie, how did you do with the decorating, and how did you do with your decorator? I heard you had a problem.
I didn't have a problem with my decorator, actually. But my decorator quit through no fault of my own because they were not happy with Joan. And
This is a total lie.
this is what I was told by them.
I do not. Here we go again. A total lie.
What did Joan have to do with your
What did I
decorator?
say?
I was not in the room. I don't know what actually transpired. I just know that when I went over there, David had forced them to quit the show, and he said some not so nice things about Joan and said that he would not work with The Apprentice.
Did he work with you, Joan?
Transpired between him.
I met him
And
once. He came to meet me. We walked the room. We measured the room. This is.
you can ask your.
May I tell you something? I've had a wonderful time here. I had the most incredible experience doing this wonderful party that we did. This is so disgusting. This is so disgusting. This is everything I do not believe in for 75 years. I have lived my life with honor, and I've lived my life that everybody I've worked with has come back. I have people that never left my employ for 18
But do you think that didn't happen, Joan? What you
I
said?
do not believe for a second. I had a fight with him, and he did not. And the other people came and told me, this is
Can I, sir, can I?
No, you cannot, sir. You cannot. This is an out-and-out lie, and I will not have this on television, and I will not be berated by this character here.
I'm not berating
Oh,
you.
stop it. How dare you?
Coming up, the accusations fly as the Celebrity Apprentice continues.
The Celebrity Apprentice.
Annie, let me ask you this question. Do you think that designer was sort of overwhelmed by
What
the
I
whole thing?
said, Mr. Trump,
Was he
was that,
overwhelmed? And then you can't blame that on
to
Joan.
be fair, what I said was
But
that I am only
Annie, he
repeating
was
what you said to me.
overwhelmed. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. I
But
only
how
know
can
what
you
I was
blame that on
told.
Joan?
I'm telling you what the designer said
Can
to
I
me.
say,
Go ahead,
what
Brenda.
I understand from it is that they were insulted that they had hired somebody else outside
Well, we
of
had
their...
actually, you guys had hired somebody else, not
No,
us.
we didn't until 7 o'clock at night when I
We
was
did
left
not
with a
hire
stage.
anybody.
I'm telling you what the designer said to me. I also specifically said I wasn't there. I did not hear the conversation. I can only
And I've
repeat
been
what
told
was
that
told
your
to
money
me.
is all mafia money. And I don't know. I've
Excuse
never
me?
seen it. Oh, no.
See,
Oh,
now
this
if
is
you start
bad.
saying that, there's nobody that I know in the mafia. I would just like to point that out.
I don't care. I
Oh,
find
no
this
fairness,
whole...
Annie, you don't know if they're
This-
mafia.
No, I do. I
whole
actually do
thing
because I
has
know where
turned
they
into
come from,
something
sir, and I'm
so
tired of the
disgraceful.
character assassination.
So disgraceful. So
Without the
disgraceful.
assistance of this decorator, how did you create your space?
How did I create my space?
Because you got great compliments from a branding perspective.
Thank you.
Who did your space?
You know who did my space?
Yeah.
Mr. Trump. All the guys from God's Love We Deliver
That's
came
good.
in.
Good.
All the guys.
A lot
I
of
had a
talent.
dentist, and I had a doctor, and I had a
All the
guy.
volunteers.
I was a volunteer, and I had the chef, and we did it. We
That's
all
nice.
just did it.
Annie, is that
And
nice?
We all just
Is
did
that
it.
nice, Annie?
Yes, very much so.
Annie, you've met a lot of people. Tough people, smart
Sure.
people, dumb people, lots of people. You can read them because that's what you do for a living. Joan's been hard for you to read, hasn't she? She's been difficult for you.
Joan is a very different person than I am, and
Thank God.
Dennis, aren't you glad you're back?
I'm just loving it.
thank you, God.
So much better seeing it live than on TV, right, Dennis?
You're her teammate.
And
You're not supposed to be.
While I prefer not
You're
to
her
discuss
teammate,
it here,
Dennis.
I'm pretty sure I know what
So,
her
Annie,
motivation
how
is.
did you decorate your space if your designer quit because of Joan, which I still haven't
Well,
figured out? But how did you decorate your space?
You know, again, on the designer thing, I'm only telling you what the designer said.
But Annie, I think this is a good story. The question he's
Yeah,
asking you is
so
how did you
I
end
was
up doing it? And I thought you actually had a really good story with
standing in a
it.
space at 7 p.m. on a Friday
The
night.
designer quit
Yes, the designer is
because of
quit.
Joan.
That's my understanding.
Oh gosh.
However,
Endless
as I
string
said,
of lies upon lies.
I was not there to see what actually transpired between Joan and the
You know,
designer.
I
can
came
only
on the
tell you
show
what the
to work
designer
for God's
said.
Love, not to be maligned by somebody in a...
Who's been doing the maligning, Joan?
I have, you know, you are so beneath me. You are so gone from my vision. I am here to work for God's Love We Deliver. I have never, ever dealt with anything like this before in my life. And I'm embarrassed. It's just like...
Well, I think you love that you're part of it, but I think
Oh,
you're
you know
embarrassed.
what I'm
Excuse me.
saying.
I think you're embarrassed by the fact that you're opposed by Annie.
I'm in shock that these half lies and half truths and innuendos come out. And
But Joan, she's also trying to win.
But you know, Donald, we've won. We're here. Our charities have done so damn
I
well.
know, but she wants to take it
But
to
you
that
win
final
with
step.
honor. I guess it's very Victorian of me. You win with honor.
What do you think of that, Annie?
I would just like to once again say that in this boardroom, I have not personally attacked anyone.
But outside of this boardroom,
lied.
you've lied.
She has personally attacked me in almost every boardroom since about mid-season.
But you
and
lied.
with terrible character
Because
assassination,
this-
calling my friends mafia people, saying that I have no morals, and so on and so forth.
Maybe it's time to just tell us who won and who lost. I don't want to sit here. I don't want to hear this anymore. I find this just...
I understand.
It became such a wonderful thing to do for a charity. It became such an amazing way to make...
Well,
have fun
I
with
will say
yourself.
this. Here's the good news. Tremendous amounts of money have been raised for charities, including your charity, and including your charity, and including other charities. So a lot of money, a lot of money has been raised for charity. Okay, I'm going to ask in front of the group, because you might as well hear this, and then I'm going to throw you all out of the room. I'm going to ask Ivanka to tell me, how did Joan's team do in terms of dollars raised?
In terms of dollars, they raised an impressive $150,830.
That's great, Joan. Annie, you have to say that's pretty good, right? Don, how did Annie do?
Well, they did very well, as we expected. They raised a grand total of $465,725 on this one task.
So that's pretty good. Joan, that's very impressive. Yeah.
Fabulous. It goes to charity.
That goes to charity.
It's all good.
Goes to great charities. In this case, both great charities.
It's all good.
Okay, but as you know, Annie, it's not just, that's not the only thing, okay? Don, tell me about the other criteria.
Well, Annie did a phenomenal job on charity integration. You knew what the charity she was playing for was when you walked in. It was in the frames. It was on the poster. She had people talking about it. It was really a big part of the experience that I didn't see from Joan's side of the table.
Ivanka, what about the other points that were being judged on?
Well, the other criteria were the celebrities in attendance, the Kodak integration, followed by the overall experience, and all those were won by Joan. In terms of celebrities, we felt that they were more prominent, more recognizable to the mass, actors, etc. In terms of overall experience, we thought that Joan's party was better attended, had a better spirit, and Jeff Hazlett from Kodak felt that Joan had better Kodak branding.
Thank you. Listen, I want to thank everybody. You were all stars. You did a great job. Tom, thank you. Brandy, thank you. Dennis, thank you. You are a piece of work, Dennis, I will tell you. Clint, you're a great talent, and I'll come to, if you invite me to a concert, I'll be there, okay?
Always
invited. And I'll bring Joan. Joan will be my date. Melissa, great job. Herschel, you're fantastic. Thank you all very much. Go and enjoy yourselves. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great work.
Fired, but still had the guts to come back and help out for charity. Please welcome Joan's helpers, Herschel Walker, Clint Black, and Melissa Rivers. And Annie's helpers, Tom Green, Brandy Roderick, and the legendary Dennis Rodman. So Dennis, sit down now. Proud of you, Dennis. So everyone wants to know, we've been reading a lot about you. How are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm doing actually well. Actually well. I'm just very thankful for the fact that I'm here living and breathing and, you know, coming through okay. And, you know, we had a sad moment this week with one of my dear, dear friend, Chuck Daly, died this week. And I think everyone lost a pioneer, a great human being, spirit, heart. So, you know, it's like a family thing.
You still hold hard feelings toward Jesse?
You know, me and Jesse had this strong bond as far as like protecting each other as far as mentally wise. And I didn't like the fact that Jesse came out, you know, just because he was sober over, 20 some years, to come out and attack me and say, you know what, let's just make this an intervention about Dennis. And I'm like, you know what, bro, we've been friends for a long time in Long Beach days and stuff like that. And I thought it was chicken crap that he gonna come out and tell me that, hey, I have a problem. Of course, I have a problem. I had a problem years ago. I fixed that. I came back and said, hey, you know what? I don't need to be embarrassed. So I'm just saying, it's just like he said about himself. He said, well, none of my friends have money. Oh, I'm sorry, Jesse. Your wife makes $20 million a movie. She makes $20 million a movie. And you're gonna tell me your friends don't have money. But you're going to come out and try to bash me.
You can keep saying whatever you want, but the problem isn't diverted away from yourself. If you weren't so stupid, you would realize that the only reason I said anything to you is because I care about you.
Well, play this, bro.
Yeah, but Jesse, you don't care about somebody when you call them stupid.
Well, you know what? Sometimes.
Right, let me just ask Melissa. That's enough. That's not nice. That's enough. Melissa, let me ask you this. Do you feel that you embarrassed yourself when you had a meltdown after you got fired?
No. Number one, I didn't have the meltdown in the boardroom.
Well, you certainly did.
But it was outside the boardroom.
Well, it was pretty bad.
Yes.
The world watched.
Yes, they did. It was really a very raw and emotional moment for me that really did not have to do with my firing. It had to do with, at one point in life, it was sort of my moment where I stood up and said, I'm mad as hell and I'm not.
It wasn't your best moment, but I'd just like to know, Brandy, what do you think?
Well, it's definitely the new word that me and my friends call each other, whore pit vipers now all the time. But, the thing is, there was really no lying or deceit whatsoever by my part towards Melissa, and I hope that she knows that, but the whore pit viper thing, it's no big deal. It's water under the bridge.
Claudia, what did you think of Melissa? Well, generally speaking, what did you think? And what did you think of the meltdown?
The meltdown was, it was embarrassing for her, I thought, and her mom. And I was a fan of Joan Rivers, and I just thought that was just a bad way to go out. I was really mad when I left, and I said some things about her appearance, but I felt like, it was over the top. Now, I didn't think that she had a bad firing. I think you were very gentle with her when she got fired.
You're being very nice all of a sudden.
I agree that
they became so nice. I don't know what the hell happened to them.
I do agree that
All right, I don't want to hear it, but I will tell you this. Clint, you took a lot of abuse. I thought you were a star. I thought you did a fantastic job and really didn't get credit for it. You were great. I want to thank everybody, and I especially want to thank Kodak. They're supplying each of your charities with printers, copiers, cameras, everything that you need to make your office absolutely top of the line. We'll be right back.
We're human. We want more than...
This is going to be tough. She used her aggressive professional skills to catapult her right into the finals. Please welcome Annie Duke. She surprised everyone with her incredible energy. Making it to the final boardroom, she's really been spectacular. Please welcome Joan Rivers. So, Joan, how did you get into this mess? Are you glad you did it?
Oh, are you kidding? And how? Look, my charity is known now all over the world. How amazing what it's done for my charity.
Annie, how about you?
I'm really happy I did it. I think Refugees International is really happy. And I came away from this experience with a lot of really amazing friends, which is, charity and friends. That's really what makes the world go round, right?
Melissa, you stuck up for your mother very strongly, and I respect that. Do you hate Annie, or is it something less than hate?
I don't hate Annie. I have total respect for how Annie played the game, but I love my mother. I don't really have hate. It's just not about that, and I'm thrilled we're here, and I'm thrilled for both charities. And I'm just really proud of my mother. I'm really proud of my mother.
Brandy, you became very close to Annie. Do you think you could have beaten her?
Oh, well, Donald, I guess we'll never know.
So what do you think? Yes, no? That's a good. I like that answer better. I like that answer better. Clint, you really went at it with Joan for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden you became very friendly. Who would you choose if you were me?
To fire?
To fire.
Your editor.
Who would you?
I like a lot of great opposing ideas and issues in the country. I'm always grateful when I don't have to decide.
Well, that's a lousy answer.
It is.
I take back what I said about Clint before.
You never got me to throw anyone under the bus.
That's true. You never did, and I respect that, but I didn't like that answer. Jesse, who would you choose if you were me, to hire as opposed to fire?
I think I would probably, because workman's comp insurance is so high, I'd probably hire Annie. That doesn't mean I hate old people, though. I don't know. I think they're both great. They're just two different kinds of people.
Okay, Dennis, you got to know them both pretty well. Who would it be? Who would you hire, Dennis? Come on, Dennis. Tough one.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go with my girl here. I mean, even though
who is your girl?
My girl is Joan Rivers.
Okay. My wonderful Scott, my great champion. Who would you do, Scott?
You know, it was so beautifully played. The game
maybe it didn't come out exactly right, but that's I think Scott gets the point. Who would you hire, Scott?
Well, you know, I look at them both, and I saw the passion, I saw the intensity, and I saw the caring for their charities. It's a difficult decision, but coming back to skating after 50 years and being in retirement for 5, I know what it's tough. When you're older, the energy is tougher to do.
Who is it?
I just think the stamina and the fortitude. I love Annie, but Joan.
We'll be right back. This is very interesting.
Coming up, here's Morgan and Trace Atkins, live. And later, Mr. Trump crowns the Celebrity Apprentice.
The Celebrity Apprentice.
Welcome back to the season finale of the Celebrity Apprentice, live from the American Museum of Natural History.
Joan, Annie, you both raised a lot of money for your charities, and they're both deserving of the grand prize that I'll award tonight. Let's take a closer look at who you're playing for. First up, Joan's charity.
This is our code. That's our code. And desserts. God's Love We Deliver is a very small grassroots organization. It started out mainly for at-home AIDS patients, and we've expanded to any kind of illness. And what we do is we serve meals to any client that calls up and says, I need a meal. Joan Rivers, nice to see you. God's Love. I don't believe it. How nice is 3,300 doorbells are rung every day, and meals and love is given out to these people. Sebastian, nice to meet you. Hello. You walk into somebody's apartment with the meal. I had a bagel. I had one. It's very good. Yes, the meal is very important, but it's so much more. It's a connection, someone that cares about them.
They have saved my life, Joan.
literally, I've been at death's door. This one time I was very ill. I was able to get up, I rang the doorbell, and then I fell to the floor in the kitchen, right in the middle of the kitchen. He found me on the floor, Sebastian, he yells, and you know, and he took me to the hospital. That's God's love.
I come away every time I deliver the meals, thanking God that He is letting me be part of this. So nice to see you. What sets God's love apart from any other charity is the amount of volunteers. I've been doing this 18 years.
Yeah.
How'd you start?
My son had AIDS. It put him on the food program for only the last 3 months of his life. After he died, I said, it's payback time. I've been here ever since.
The connection is so emotional. It's an incredible experience. Where is Jason? We put tiles up with names of friends who have died of AIDS. And I think I bought the 4th tile for the wall. And he was my first friend to die of AIDS. That's why I work for God's love. He was a very good friend, and that was very early on. And it just kills me. Just kills me. This is just an incredibly magical place. And I want that money so badly for them. Because we all know where it's going to go.
John, that's beautiful. Okay, Annie, it's your turn. Let's take a look at your charity.
I'm playing for a charity called Refugees International. People who don't have water, they don't have food, they don't have shelter. What Refugees International does is they try to get governments to stand up and pay attention and to advocate for them, get them settled, make it so that they can make a new life for themselves. When we think about refugees, we think very specifically about a lot of what's happening in Africa right now, but we've had this war going on in Iraq. Every day, people are getting separated from their families. I mean, it's really horrific what's happening there. I was really happy to get an opportunity to meet Ala, who ended up a refugee because of the conflict over there.
In Iraq, I worked as a translator and then became a journalist. In many situations, I was almost kidnapped, I was shot at, I decided to leave. It became too dangerous for me to stay. I could not bring my sons with me because I was not sure where I was going. I was not sure if I'd be able to support them.
I mean, I have 4 children. I can't imagine what you went through.
I didn't know what to tell them. Every time they call, they say, can you please call again the immigration and just check and see.
She's trying to get visas for her 2 sons. I mean, a year and a half later, denied. Can't get a visa for them.
You know, I was desperate, but at the same time, I almost lost faith in somebody being able to help me. President of Refugees International, he approached me and asked me if I needed any help. He said, I can't promise, I'm not promising anything, but I'll try. And in 2 weeks, I got an email from the US Embassy in Baghdad telling me that the visa for my children is ready now.
Refugees International did in 2 weeks what they were unable to accomplish in a year and a half.
Every day I tell myself that if it wasn't for Refugees International, I don't think I would have ever gotten my children.
These people didn't have a choice about what's happened to them, and someone needs to help them get back into a situation in life where they do have the luxury of a choice. That's why I'm playing for Refugees International.
It's a miracle. You know, they made a miracle happen.
Please welcome 2 guys who know a lot about charity. First, the star of America's Got Talent and last year's winner on Celebrity Apprentice, Piers Morgan. And the man he beat, he's a huge country star, thanks to The Apprentice. Trace Adkins, a special guy. He's got the #1 record. Great guy. Trace, come on back. So Piers, I know a lot of great things have happened to you. You had your own show, you did really well. How did your charity do because of Celebrity Apprentice?
So the best thing, Trace is actually quite pleased to see me, so ladies, it can happen. You will come back together. No, the great thing about this show, I think, is the effect that it has on the charities, not just during the show, but also ongoing. I found out this week that the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, which I raised nearly $1 million for last season, they spent every dollar of that, which is all money came into the show, on a new centre down in Maryland, which is going to help soldiers coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan who've got serious brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder. It's an amazing thing, and they said that without the impact of Celebrity Apprentice, they would never have been in a position to spend the $60 million they've raised from the public, from American citizens who watch the show and inspired to help, and that is an amazing thing for the show and for you.
And I have to say, Arnold Fisher, who's a great friend of mine, heads it up. He's spent a fortune of his own money. Really good job.
Every dollar they get in goes straight to the project.
And Trace, how about you?
Oh, it's I can't even describe what an impact it's had.
What a voice! What a voice!
Not just the money; it's the awareness and everything that's been raised for the food allergy situation in this country. The Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network has taken all the money, which is close to $500,000 now, and I didn't win, and that's great, and they put that money to good use. But even more important, there was some pending legislation that we couldn't get anybody to move on, and then after the awareness that came from being on this show, that legislation was passed.
So Trace, if you were me, Annie or Joan, who would you choose to win?
Well,
come on, Trace.
I played some pretty dangerous hands of poker myself, and so I would take Joan.
Why?
Well, I've watched this year, and nobody got out of this thing unscathed. Everybody had some bad moments. Just to what degree, you know? And you know, smart lady, you played the game great, but I don't know. Joan just had that charitable thing that put that frog in your throat.
Piers, who would you choose?
Here's my problem. Two terrific ladies, but I've been watching very carefully tonight, the ballroom scene in particular, and it seems to me the result has already been declared because you laid down 5 criteria. Last year 4, Trace and I won 2 each, and you went back over our record to find the winner. This time, you said 5 criteria, and you won 2, and you've been in favour of mine throughout the season. Joan won 3. It seems to me you have your apprentice.
I want to thank you guys for being here very much, and we'll be right back.
We're human. We want more than just to survive. We want love. We want to be the best that we can be. Anything else, Phil?
Joan, why should I pick you to be the Celebrity Apprentice?
Because I think that I represent winning and business in the new way that this country is taking on, which is we are honorable. We cannot do business in the old way. You can't grab money because it will affect those you grab from. And I also am so proud that we are representing getting money for charity. America's all about charity.
But you didn't raise as much money as Annie.
But I raised money and I raised awareness, and people in England know about it, and it's all about America's charity. The whole world knows that we're a charitable country.
Annie, why should I pick you to be the Celebrity Apprentice?
Well, first of all, what is this game about? If it's about raising money for charity, I did better. If it's about winning more challenges, I did better. If it's about winning as project manager, I certainly did better.
But you lost the last task.
Well, a lot of what I
And that
lost,
was a big
but she caused the designer to fire, to go away. She caused him to quit. And we all saw that on video. And she lied in the boardroom. And I have a question.
But couldn't you say that's smart playing? You've been doing that for 14 years.
She just did that because of the way she treated him. And in the end, my friends came to stop. Let me speak. No, you interrupt me every time.
You're damn right.
Are you going to let her
and
tell
a
me
person like you should be interrupted.
In the end, my friends came through for me, and hers didn't, because it's not so much about how famous you are, it's about how you treat people. And she certainly did not treat that.
Joan, you really dislike her.
No,
let me speak.
I don't like her.
Annie, do you dislike her?
Yes, she does dislike me.
I don't.
Joan, let her answer.
All right.
I do not know a boardroom in this country where someone would be allowed to say that someone would spit on the ground and drown their mother in it, where someone would be allowed to call their friends mafia, where someone would be allowed to say that someone is worse than Hitler. If that happened in a real office,
not worse than
in a
Hitler.
real
Hitler
boardroom,
never had PMS.
So this is what I'm saying. If it happened in a real boardroom, she would have to be fired, or that would be actionable.
Now,
She called my friends mafia, and she said that I was worse than Hitler.
Excuse me.
That is not professional.
Number one, I have run a business for 20 years. Honorably, I have never fired anybody. Number one, jewelry business on television. But honor. Number two, I say to people's faces, I am like you, Donald. I know who you like. I know who you don't like. And I think that's an honorable business thing. I will shake your hand, Donald. I can turn my back. You won't change your mind, and you won't whisper people behind my back. You are a two-faced person. You have said I have cancer. You said you hoped I would die. You did not say it. She never said it to my face.
Well, Annie, that is
You
true.
never
You
said
did
it to
say,
my
I hope
face.
she will die. I mean, that's,
Absolutely. And first,
what's the difference between everything else?
Can I
Free, go.
say that?
Go ahead.
Say it to my face.
First of all, I said,
Do not
Okay,
interrupt me. Say
she's saying it, Joan. She's saying it to your face.
Good.
Annie,
First
go.
of all, I only said that after she caused the designer to quit, but let me say, for 6 boardrooms, I sat here and acted professional in the face of being called worse than Hitler, in the face of being called despicable, in the face of all of that. And you know what? There's only so much a girl can take. Yes, eventually I will.
You're not a girl anymore, darling. You're a woman.
This is not going to be easy. We'll be right back. We'll make a decision. So, Ivanka, what do you think?
I think you have a very challenging decision ahead of you. I mean, in terms of playing the game, Annie was phenomenal. She was just cool as a cucumber, and you raised a tremendous amount of money. Joan, on the other hand, I admire her tenacity so much. You were just really incredible and a great role model. So I think I've learned a lot through this experience.
John?
I agree. I definitely don't envy your position. I mean, Joan has stamina and energy like I've never seen. But as a business person, I also really respect the fact that Annie just lives and breathes game theory. No emotion. She just makes decisions the way they have to be. It's a really tough call.
Millions of dollars have been raised to charity. I mean, it's been a tremendous, tremendous season. $250,000 will go to your charity or your charities with this decision tonight. So it's going to be very interesting. Annie, you've been tough. You've been smart. You've been ruthless, about as ruthless as you can get. You are indeed a great champion poker player. I congratulate you on everything you've done. It's been really amazing. You've raised a lot of money, and you've really done an amazing job. And I think Joan would be the first to admit it. Is that right?
I'd like to take her to a sale of sushi. She just go through it.
Joan, your level of strength, your level of energy, the energy is just amazing. You really are a role model for so many people. And I have to tell you, Annie, do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, Annie, you're fired. Joan, congratulations. Great job. Great job. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next season. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next season.